but I decided that I was going to get out of the markets. And so on the 4th, I got out in the morning, and that they dropped again on the 4th. I got about 80% of the drop. I sold everything but my Bitcoin and my SGov, and then I put what I sold, put most of that into SGov, which is kind of like bonds, kind of like government bonds. An island on that lake. It's like a little bluff. I've driven through here before, but I sold everything except for the quarter. It's a little bit more than a quarter of a Bitcoin that I've got. I have it in Veto, and I have it in another instrument. Veto is futures, Bitcoin futures. The other one's actual Bitcoin. So I sold everything, and I made a watch list of what I sold. And I'm tracking the watch list, and at the end of the day, I can get my watch list at a $2,200 savings as of Friday. I mean, I'm kind of thinking if I wait a month, which I'm going to have to wait a month because I took a loss on a lot of the stock. I took a $22,000 realized loss. But it would have been at $24,000 if I would have sold later. It would have just kept dropping. I'm afraid of. And from what Mahendra said, is it's going to be kind of a flash crash. It's going to be like the COVID crash, and then after we're done, we'll resume up again. We'll come back up again. We'll recover. So I figure I'll get in a month or two. He says at the end of May that it'll be over. That you'll be able to... I kind of read into it that you could buy back. Get back in by the end of May. If you got out, get back in by the end of May, because it's going to resume back up. And I'm kind of thinking, based on what Cryon has said and other astrologers have said, I think that we're going to bomb Iran. And I think that's going to impact the markets too. And that hasn't happened yet. They've sent the bombers over there, I think, already. They're waiting to get the orders. I guess, I don't know if they bring them over on ships or what. They might ship them over there and then they maybe take off from the ships or something like that. Not sure how they do that, but they're taking them over there. I think they're over there already, so they can bomb Iran at any time. And they're fighting the Houthis right now, and I guess they hit one of our aircraft carriers. I mean, it's hard to really tell what's going on because you don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. But it sounds like we've already lost men over there. We're losing men already. And Ukraine, it sounds like we still are supporting Ukraine in some way. They sent F-16s over there. I think they sent them to Bulgaria. And I think F-16s are American, aren't they? And they sent some to Bulgaria, and I think they sent some to Ukraine. I don't know if those are, if the Europeans are sending those or we are. I mean, I'm kind of getting conflicting. I don't quite understand. I know they're still getting some help, but we did stop some things. Like we stopped I guess they can't get the Tesla, not the Tesla, but the internet that they had through Elon Musk. They can't get that anymore, so they're coming up with their own version of it. And they're slowly getting it. They're going to have it completed soon. I mean, until that, they're kind of fighting blind. But they're recovering it. Europe is supplying it now, a version of it. So we've caught some things, but I don't know exactly what we've caught. I'd like to see us cut everything. I don't think we should give them a single penny. I don't think they should get anything from us. And Europe is supplying, they're going to supply men. France is going to send troops to Ukraine. So they're going to start losing men. In fact, I think they might have lost some last night. Russia shot a missile into Ukraine, and they had a meeting at a restaurant, and they were foreign mercenaries. They were officers and stuff. And I guess they were at a restaurant, and they were all at a meeting or something. And they knew that Russia fired a missile, and they kind of says, well, we're not in the range of that missile, so we're fine. Well, it hit them, and it did a lot of damage to the whole area. I mean, I guess what they did is they maybe shot a big enough missile that it destroyed everything to make sure that it got them, and did some damage. I guess even some civilians got killed. And it surprised them, because the kilometers it is from this town to the place where they shot the missile was like 480 kilometers, or close to 500 kilometers. And they figured, well, they don't have, I think they know when they're firing these, they know, okay, they shot one, they can tell. And they probably got a call. They fired a missile, and they were told, you're outside of its range, you're okay. Well, it hit them. So they got caught flat-footed. But Poland is going to have an election in May, I think, or something like that. And there's a lot of opposition to the war in Ukraine. And the government's trying to put a lid on it. And, I mean, there's some opposition in Europe. There's people that are opposed to this war. They know it's wrong. But the government is using kind of a strong arm tactic, maybe even, to suppress them. 13, so this is 29.7. So now these could be roundabouts here, instead of having everybody stop. Is it a four-way stop? Yeah, it is. See, if they put a roundabout here, it would be about the same. I mean, this building here's kind of close. I don't know if they could put one here without tearing that down. Yeah, let him go. Flea market. There's a flea market here. So we're at 30 miles. I think there's going to be some problems in Europe, because when they start losing men, they're not going to be happy at all. The people are starting to realize that this is not a good idea, this war. The people in Europe are starting to wake up. And I think they're starting to vote, too. And I think it was Bulgaria or Romania or something like that. They voted someone in that the elites didn't like, and they just canceled it. They canceled the election. And they don't have democracy, basically. It says, oh, it's Russian interference. That's not valid. So I guess they didn't get what they wanted. They're taking the signs down for the snowmobile route. Ha! Isn't that something? Oh.